Once upon a time, there was a girl named Little Red Riding Hood who lived in a village near the forest. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother. "That's a good idea," her mother said, so they packed a nice basket for her to take to her grandmother's house. Little Red Riding Hood promised her mother that she would go straight to grandmother's house. However, she was enjoying the walk so much that she lost track of time. She did not even notice the wolf that was watching her from her front porch. "What are you doing out here, little girl?" asked the wolf in a voice as friendly as she could muster. "I'm on my way to see my grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood replied. She realized how late she was and rushed down the path towards Grandma's house. The wolf, in the meantime, took a shortcut to Grandma's. Grandma was beginning to worry that Little Red Riding Hood was very late. There was a knock at the door. Grandma asked who was there, and the wolf, in her sweetest voice, said, "It is I, Little Red Riding Hood." Grandma said, "Come in, child." The wolf rushed in and locked Grandma in the closet. The wolf then put on one of Grandma's wigs and her house coat. She then got into bed and waited for Little Red Riding Hood. A few minutes later, Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. The wolf jumped on the bed. "Who is it?" she called. It's Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, how lovely. Do come in, my dear," replied the wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother. "Grandmother, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood as she edged closer to the bed. "The better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to eat you with, my dear," roared the wolf, and she leapt out of the bed and began to chase the little girl. Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother, but a hungry wolf. She ran across the room and through the door, shouting, "Help, wolf," as loudly as she could. A woods woman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as she could. She grabbed the wolf and tossed her out the door. She then rescued Grandma from the closet. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother had a nice lunch and a long chat. Happy Halloween, Molly, Madison, and Whitney.